Good afternoon. Wow, another one of those news days. And I'll tell you what, I have to laugh at social media and the stuff that I see on social media because it's absolutely insane. Back and forth, both sides. I find it funny. Many don't. Many find it highly frustrating. And, but the reason, let me explain why I find it funny. I find it funny because I won't choose either one of the sides. Okay? So I think it's hilarious because it's like you got one red light bulb and one blue light bulb, and they're both fighting, trying to prove that they're green. Okay? And it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So I get a kick out of it, but I'm an odd duck, and I know that. I get that. But wow. So one of the things I tweeted out not that long ago, actually, was that the CEO of the red hen, I knew what it was. I had to joke about it. She stepped down. So... and they gratefully accepted her resignation. So, I'll tell you what, it may be, it may feel good to get out there and express your hate for somebody, but sometimes that comes back to bite you in the ass. And that's what I was kind of getting at when I was saying, we have to be decent. Okay, we don't have to agree. But, and we don't have to be decent, but we need to be decent to one another. We don't have to agree, and like I say, we don't actually have to be decent to one another. But, just remember, though, if it comes back to bite you in the ass when you're not, that it's on you. Don't point fingers at other people, unless it's Obama. We can blame Obama. We can blame Obama for anything. That's pretty much universal. So anyway, and I jest when I say that, but thanks, Obama. Anyway, so here's the thing. I'm seeing a lot of back and forth going on about this, and I find it incredibly interesting. Because you know what? This is how capitalism works, and I'm very, very much in support of capitalism. I think capitalism, without a doubt, is the way to go. However, what we have now largely is corrupt capitalism. They aren't the same thing. Corrupt capitalism is more like a bunch of monopolies, and it really isn't capitalism at all. And that's what we're experiencing for the most part right now. There was a woman not long ago they called the police on an 8-year-old girl for selling water. Okay. Hot day. Little girl was trying to, I think she was trying to save up some money for a trip or something. And so she was selling water. And this goody two-shoes decided it was her job to be the water police. And so she started calling the police and whatnot. Somebody got her on camera. I'm sure you guys are aware of Permit Patty. Well, anyway, now there is a bunch of companies. Permit Patty, by the way, owns a company that makes marijuana products, for lack of better or more accurate naming. And there is a number of companies now that have refused to carry her stock, and they're selling out of all of their products as quick as they can, and they're not going to renew their products at their locations. That is capitalism, folks. That is what capitalism is all about. So, that is what's important. Same as with the red hen. You know what? Guess what? That lady had full right to tell Sarah Sanders that she didn't want her at her establishment and that she wished she would leave. She had full right to do that. Hey, I support that. Okay? But the people speaking is also a right thing, right? To the volume level of the CEO being asked to resign. Okay, so that's capitalism. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. That's how we get things done. Back early on in the electronic cigarette industry in the United States, we identified several problems. One of those things that we identified was labeling and naming. Okay, we wanted to stay as far away from anything that might be even in any way, shape, or form identified as attracting children. We wanted to stay very far away from that because we knew that was ammunition they were going to use against us. The other thing that we self-regulated on was child-proof caps. Another thing we knew they were going to come back on us on. So, that is that's what's important. We don't need laws regulating every little facet of every little industry, because it will take care of itself. Okay, there was a company related to e-cigs, and I'm not going to call them out because it was an accident, and I'm more than positive. In fact, I still use this company. Well, not all the time, but sometimes. It depends who's got the better deal. I mean, that's what I'm after. I'm after the better deal. And so anyway, this company had accidentally sent out a batch of nicotine solution that was way stronger than it was supposed to be. In fact, this was unimaginably dangerously strong. Okay, the pure nicotine extract, which is 1,000 milligrams, okay, per milliliter. That's pure nicotine extract. If you were to even inhale the vapors coming from that, you would drop dead. Period. So what happened was, I guess some folks had ordered some 100 milligram per milliliter, 100, not 1,000. And for whatever reason, there were some bottles of 1,000 milligram sent out. The company realized the problem immediately. Before even the people got their orders, the company realized what happened and immediately contacted those individuals and said, please do not open those bottles. Do not, we'll take care of this any way that we need to take care of this. And they did. And I'm sure, I don't know exactly how it was handled. I don't know, but I'm sure that corporation, that company, I'm calling them a corporation, that company took very good care of those customers, even though no harm had happened, okay? But this is a really stand-up company, and they do a good job, and they do good work. I love their products. I do buy a lot of flavorings from them. Just nicotine, sometimes I get a better deal from other places. But that never scared me. And the reason that never scared me is because that was one of the companies that was insistent upon doing the right thing. That was one of the companies that was insistent about the child-proof caps. In fact, when we first discussed that, I was part of that discussion. I was part of the discussion on the child-proof caps on the electronic cigarette juice. And I can remember that, some of the complaints about it was, and again, this was self-regulated. There was no laws going into place. There didn't need to be any laws going into place. And so, the discussion or the point came up of, look, those caps are a lot more expensive to buy. They're not that more expensive, but somebody's going to pitch a bitch anyway. So anyway, that was the complaint. And so this particular company stepped up and said, you know what? We will offer the child-proof caps for the same price as the non-child-proof caps if you will please switch out your caps. That's what they were asking folks to do, just to swap out their caps. Any product that they already had packaged, please swap out your caps, and anything you make after that, use child-proof caps. And it was just, we were trying to prevent something. And, it wasn't but a matter of time anyway after that. And, a couple of dogs got a hold of bottles and chewed them open. And, there was a couple incidents where children actually got a hold of some liquid. But nothing was even near fatal. Nothing was bad. Nothing bad happened from it. In fact, the only bad thing that ever happened as far as the e-juice or any of the products to make the e-juice was a guy decided that he wanted to kill himself and decided to inject 100 milligram per milliliter nicotine directly into his vein, and succeeded at his suicide mission. However, that is not a position that most of us are in willingly, right? So, again, another one of those things to where capitalism works, right? Now, because of that company that I was talking about that made the mistake with the nicotine, because of how quickly they owned up to it and how wonderful they were about dealing with it, I was never, ever afraid to deal with that company. Now, I'm sure there were a lot of people that were. I'm sure there were a lot of people that never had done business with them again after that incident. But the thing of it is they took good care of it. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I can't count how many electronic juice manufacturers went out of business just as quickly as they started because of bad practices. Okay? Again, there were no laws. There were no regulations. It was us. It was us. And it was capitalism. And it was pure capitalism. And it was true capitalism. And that is how the e-cig industry became one of the one of the fastest growing industries in the history. That's no joke. You can check that out. One of the largest, or I keep saying largest, sorry, one of the fastest growing industries in history, electronic cigarettes. And that's why. That's why. Because there was no laws, there was no regulations to restrict them. They were allowed to grow. They were simply allowed to grow. And they did a great job. They did a great job. And I know I'm very thankful for that. On both sides of it, both as a consumer and I did make a fair amount of money making juice. So I could experience both sides of it. But anyway, I don't know what led me down that path, but I think we need to discuss capitalism more, because there's a lot of people that are misunderstanding capitalism because of what they see today. What they're seeing today is getting labeled as capitalism, and it's not. It's monopolies. It's exactly what it is, monopolies. Totally, totally different. Once you start regulating the hell out of companies and industries, and once you start allowing certain companies and industries to bully the other ones and to run the others out of business, that's no longer capitalism whatsoever. That is absolutely no longer capitalism. And it's important to say that. Just like anytime you hear somebody say the United States is a democracy, you need to stop them right there and say, no, the United States is a constitutional republic. That's important, because if we change the language, all of a sudden we change people's perception of that. And that's true with the economy. That's true with the way the country's supposed to be ran. Every aspect of life. If you allow them to change the language, or allow them to prevent language, allow them to ban words, it's going to have a negative effect, because they're always doing it for more control. Don't ever believe that they're doing it in your interest, in your best interest. So it is what it is, Let's go ahead and start checking things out. Do the financial stuff real quick. YouTube, we still suck, $2.35. We suck even worse today. But hey, we're up 2 subscribers. Yay! We'll have them butthurt and gone by the end of the show. No, I don't intentionally make people mad or anything like that. But truth is not popular. Truth is not popular at all. So, and neither is just being straight, and not over-exaggerating things, This is bombshell. Yeah, who cares? All right, Steam. I just redeemed. That's the word. I was trying to find the word yesterday. I couldn't think of the word. I just redeemed 24 minutes ago 1.241 Steam, 0.714 SBD, and 1.782 Steam. We'll have more sometime after the show, I guess it is, that will be available for me to redeem. It's this one right here, 4 hours. So just after the show, I'll be able to redeem that one. And then that'll be, if it stays there. A lot of times the ones that are like 1 or 2 cents, they disappear. But that'll be good tomorrow, an hour before now. So, yep, we're slowly. And like I say, I'm just going to let this build. I'm going to let this build, and who knows? I mean, just kind of one of those things. Just trying to build up a little bit of money. Got to deal with the monitor and stuff like that. I've got the adapter on the way. It's supposed to be on the way. The shipping label was created. So as soon as I get that adapter, I can use this other monitor that's here. Although I'm still not going to. I don't think I can use it at very high resolution. I don't know. I'll have to see. It's a really cheap adapter. So I got the cheapest one I could find. Let's see, AdSense today. Let me do a refresh real quick. AdSense today, we're looking at 64 cents, which brings us to $15.28 for the month, which of course will be added over here to the balance at the 1st or 2nd of next month. And real quick, I'll go over that again for those who may not know. On our website, thewatchmannews.com, we do have ads. Now, this is just Google AdSense ads. It's not anything exciting, special, or anything like that. All people got to do is click on the ad. They don't have to buy nothing, sign up for nothing, put in your email, give a stool sample. Nothing. You don't have to do anything. Just click on the ad. You want to know about the worst foods for IBS? There you go. It's right on the screen. The worst foods for IBS. It'll tell you, right? So you learn something and you help us make a little bit of money. That was a bad example. Hey, it's on there. I can't help that. It's right there. The worst, or, if maybe you don't want to know about your IBS, you just want to keep it a secret, keep it in the closet, maybe you could find out about some breathable outdoor casual shoes. So they're 46% off. Anyway, yeah, that's how that money gets there. Not IBS, but by clicking on the ad. I couldn't have planned that one any better. Anyway. Oh my God. All right, let's get to some news. Try to straighten out, be serious. Right. Felony eavesdropping charge for 13-year-old who recorded Illinois school principal. This was from Zero Hedge. I ran across this last night, and I thought, holy cow, this is nuts. See, we have this. We have some crazy laws in Illinois regarding recording. Right? It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if you're recording a murder or what it is. If they want to come after you for eavesdropping laws, because it's I think they call it. I thought it was a single party or. Hang on a second here. I'm trying to remember what it is. What they said it was. Because I thought it was something else, and apparently I'd been wrong ever since I was aware of it. Let's see. Because this is important to know, especially if you live in Illinois. And it's important to know whatever state that you do live in, what the law is. It's extremely important, because you might think that you might be saving your butt, but you might actually be committing a felony. So here we go. The reason for the legal fiascos is due to the fact that Illinois is an all-party consent state. Okay, I'd always heard of it called two-party, but I think they're calling it all-party because what if there's more than two parties? Okay, so I think that's why they're calling it all-party consent state, meaning that recording any conversation without the consent of all parties is a felony, while federal law and most states allow for one-party consent. Now, see, here's the thing. That's why I asked one day, and this had been a little while back, I had asked one day because I had withheld holding some Facebook Messenger messages with my ex-wife involving my children. I hadn't shared them anywhere, even though they needed to be shared, right? Because people need to know. People need to know the truth. I'm tired of being this horrible piece of crap monster. And it's time I speak out. And one of the ways I can speak out is just to show people This is the kind of psychotic lunatic that I'm dealing with. And anyway, so I was informed by many, many individuals that I wasn't beholden to the same rules about, like, if I was audio recording or whatnot, I wasn't beholden to those same rules when it involved Facebook messages. So anyway, you really need to know what your laws are in your state. Illinois, like it says, if everybody is not informed that you're recording, you are committing a felony. I mean, you could even go to the extent of, we could have a guest here that could speak, that could say something, and you guys overheard it. Technically, they could come back later on and say, oh, well, I was unaware that, he was right there doing a news broadcast, and you guys could hear me, and boom, I committed a felony. So it's important to know that stuff. It really is. Really is. Sometimes you might be doing something to think you're saving your butt, and you're actually doing something to give you a lot of extra problems. So anyway, Macedonian president refuses to sign agreement on country's name change. Brexit bill becomes law, allowing UK to leave the EU. Go UK. We need to understand Russia feels under strategic threat, says the former UK Army chief. I can imagine so. When you've got all kinds of NATO troops building up all around your country, I would consider that a strategic threat. U.S. Supreme Court upholds Trump's controversial travel ban. Even that's getting dwarfed right now. That news is getting dwarfed by the Maxine Waters debacle. Let's see. U.S. to introduce sanctions against Turkey if it buys Russia's S-400s. That is, interesting. I seen that, and it's like, well, I figured that was already in the works some time ago. As far as I know, the S-500 systems are in development. Hell, they might even be in production right now. But, we got enough problems with the S-300s. With the S-400s, U.S. warships in Philippines as part of continued presence in South China Sea. Doomsday prophecy believers brace for longest lunar eclipse of the century. Yes, that's right, folks. It's the end of the world again. Sunday. No, July. I think it's July 26th or something like that. So, and it's some Christian lunatics that are, the same thing they do all the time, and then they have an excuse to, it was the leaves fell the wrong way from the tree. That's why we're still here. U.S.-led coalition evacuates 2 Daesh commanders from Syria's Hazaka. I know, I butcher these names. Revealed Marine Corps loses first F-35B to fire caused by technical fault. At least it wasn't my fault. How Trump's trade war is accelerating EU-China rapprochement. Watch Russian military helicopter fire new armor-piercer rockets. I think that's supposed to be armor-piercing, but, not sure. Burned NSA election hacking leaker pleads guilty under Espionage Act. Yeah, that's a shame, That's a shame. If whistleblowers need protection, true protection. If the government's up to no good, and somebody helps us know about it, they shouldn't be punished. And I don't know all the details. I really don't know all the inner workings of this. But, again, I'll repeat that. If government is doing something wrong and somebody outs them because they're somehow on the inside enough to be able to provide evidence of that, whatever that activity is, they shouldn't be condemned. They shouldn't be in prison. They shouldn't. No. They should get a medal. Let's see. U.S. plans to arm B-52 with mother of all bombs. Boeing unveils hypersonic plane concept that flies from New York City to London in 2 hours. And I was thinking about that. So they've got this plane concept, and I'm sure their concept is probably pretty accurate, probably pretty well ready to go. With all the tools of the trade today, all the computer software programming and all that, you can pretty much design an aircraft on paper and be pretty certain that by the time you're done with the finished product, you might have to do some minor tweaks, but it's going to fly. Anyway, I find it interesting because they're not talking about a fighter jet here. They're talking about a commercial jet to be able to take passengers. So if Boeing is talking about that, then what is it that our military really has now? Interesting. Food for thought. Here's the article I spoke on. Co-owner of the Red Hen steps down as executive director of Main Street, Lexington. Bye-bye. Emergency crews battle fire after explosion at Texas hospital. That was breaking like literally right as I started the show. So pretty crazy news indeed. I was going over everything today and I was looking at it and I'm like, wow. There's a lot of news about different individuals speaking their thoughts on a possible civil war coming. I tell you what, I'm definitely not dismissing it. It's going to be an interesting one, and I don't think it'll be a long one. The only way it will be a long one is if like the United Nations gets involved. But if it's a civil war just among the people, yeah, I don't think it would last. Honestly, I don't think it would last over a few days. I don't. Because if you step back and you look at the two sides that are bickering back and forth, you've got one side that has handbags and the other side that's got the, awful, mean, terrible guns. Right? So in the great war of handbags and rifles, I don't think that war would last very long. I just don't. I really, really don't. I mean, you might be able to get the upper hand with a fanny pack, but I don't think a handbag. I don't think that'll do it. Jen's over there going, really? Yeah, I mean, I'm just being straight. I don't think it would last very long. The only way it could possibly last long is if someone or something or some entity else got involved. And I don't know that would happen. We'll see. But things are certainly getting ramped up, and I as I said, it's kind of early into the summer. The hot temperatures and stuff are still yet to come, and with that in mind, frustrations rise, and the longer that it's hot, people get more frustrated. So if you know anything about people's psyche and the heat, typically things get a little crazy when it's hot for long periods of time. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's a very valid point. I think it's very likely, and we'll see. So something's got to happen, and I know that may sound bad when I say that, but something's got to happen because the idiocy is just beyond workable. Okay, and I don't know how the hell you can't blame it all on Obama. You can't. If you look at where we're at today, that is not all the fault of one man. I think it's the fault of so many different things. I think it's media, education, and of course the last administration didn't help. But it wasn't alone in bringing everything down. So, let's see. Crazy. I think I'm going to do that. I think that's going to be it for the monologue. I don't have much more. I kind of, once again, like yesterday, I kind of did my rant at the beginning. I don't know. Maybe it's better. Maybe it fits better there. I don't know. I really don't think about it. I just do it, right? I do what I can to let God lead. That's what I do. So it's in my opinion, it's whatever he wants, and if something comes over me, I go with it. So anyway, that's going to do it for the monologue. And for those that stick around for the live show, stick around. For those that just watch the monologue, I want to say thank you. And as always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.